Hello there, Gemini. This is Joy with Joy to the World to take an intuitive peek into what's going on in the world around you today. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you join us. I hope things are going well. I see some shake up, kind of to make up for the way things have been. Tides are turning, and I see here that it is choice based and optional. Like for a time, you may have been falling prey to outside forces kind of dampening and keeping you down and being suppressed, and kind of like the COVID thing. It's you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, that type of thing. And whether it was a mindset and self-imposed for the need to get through certain channels, now is more of an opening coming in time for you to part ways with that thinking and to receive, to start applying yourself in these inklings and these knowings that have been percolating and ready to start. If you've ever seen a percolator, the water will start to simmer just a bit, and eventually it forms this suction and it creates this pump where it starts to pull everything up through the top like a fountain and cascade back down. And so once the once the pump kicks on, it's on like Donkey Kong, okay? So let's see what is going on here. The first card, these are my handmade cards, okay? These guys, so they're black and white to help us just really make an immediate connection, a thrust, a driving force. And at the bottom of the deck, we have teething. So we see something new, something starting, that you're about to start taking hold of things and digesting them and taking things in of your own accord, all right? Breaking things down, starting to understand things at a deeper level. But the card that we have crowning, which came out upright, these being squares, they can come out in any direction, mind you. It says all things are possible, believe. And here it's like you're a love genius. Can you see that? Can you see that you are a love genius? All right. So we're stepping in with that. We're awakening our genius. Our genius isn't just like, yay for me based on myself. It's literally tapping in and connecting. That's why it's a light bulb. A light bulb needs a couple of things. It needs to be whole, have the filament intact. It needs to have a point of connection, thus the lamp. And then the lamp has to have a socket and a plug that has to be fed live electricity. So there's a couple of things going on here is what we're going to find out. So straight up the middle is where it came out first, and these are kind of a companion statement. We have the Four of Coins and we have the Nine of Swords. You see that? And basically it's like it's time to turn the tide. It's time to flip this mother, to turn this sucker out, okay? So gone are the days of just that, those impositions, whether it was self-imposed thought or whether it was the surroundings you found yourself in. Some of it could have been like forced discipline of needing to complete a course of action or follow through on a promise, even though it had started wearying you. And some of you, it's coming out of a relationship, but tying up those loose ends so that you feel free to walk on and move forward from it. And so we're going to look in right here to see. I know, yeah, definitely. We're doing a deep dive here. This isn't about past and future. This is about diving deep. I see that. So this one, we've got the Two of Swords, Ace of Swords, and the King of Cups. But they're making me obscure the cards. I found that quite interesting. So let me dilly with this for a moment to make sure you see them the way that they're supposed to be. It's like that. Okay. So it's knowing and going after. We could say what you want, but your true self, your spirit, your desires, and your dreams. Not just being an element of compassion, of like that Cancerian heart, trying to do the right thing, that sort of thing. It has more to do with the uprising of your energy. When you feel an unction, being able to step out on it and see it straight through. Instead of having to plot and plan or feel it out or sort it out or sift it out. That's kind of these energies here, the Four of Coins and the Nine of Swords. It's stuff that just leads to entrapment And that entrapment is a disillusion and a distraction. And it creates this loop that you get stuck in, like a washing machine. And you can't get out till the cycle's done and over. And this sword is like, we are done with that. So done. So done. Your vision is quite clear. You've had plenty of time of going through these cycles, experience the fallout, that you're ready to cultivate something new. You're grounded. You have reached the bottom. That's the best way to say it. And there's no place to go but up. And you're not content sitting there. Your mind is active and you're ready to move forward with some thoughts, some ideas, and actually put the physicality to them. Because over here we see the Fool showing up. The Fool is always ready for action. That's why they're shown in motion. They're ready to go. They're good to go. And they're ditching preconceived notions. They're attached to nothing. But they do have that companion. And over here in the Two of Swords, the person in the image also has a companion, has the cat, has the spirit along with you. And then here, some of you might have someone coming along on the journey with you. How interesting. That makes for some fun. And I see, when I said that, the sun lights up. It lights up. Interesting. It's very dynamic, this Fool energy that you have going on here. Ooh. It's powerful. It's a little more than just dynamic. It's fantastic. Life has been begging you to engage like this, begging you to awaken your whole self. Like the planets are aligned along our body, and the way when you see them all as of benefit and benevolent towards you, it activates the full channel up, and not just the channel of the body, the channel of your amnios, of your beingness, your amness, and all that you are. And then it's all the pieces and parts are contained in the individual. Look, I'm seeing, where'd it go when I turned it? I'm seeing that fork and that knife over here. This is the bottom of the deck, so we'll explain in a minute, but it's literally saying, hey, dig in. Dig in. You need to be teeming and abounding with life. The joyousness, the fulfillment, that literally tangible energy coursing through you, that the atmosphere changes when you step into situations. People feel it and it awakens. It's like a shock wave of deliciousness. I love that. And of course, it lays the road. It makes the opening, the pathway, but it's physical. It's not just like, oh, portal gateway opening. It's in the mind. No. This is paved road, rubber hitting the road, wings taking to flight, lips being kissed. They snuck this one on in there, Gemini. Ooh, Hercules. 9 of Cups and 9 of Pentacles. You'll be tasting heights you have not tasted before. And over here on the bottom of that deck, the 9 of Swords. No more dodging bullets. No more dodging bullets. That's when you closed out this cycle, is we just move through here and we're grounding ourselves, acknowledging that we've reached the bottom, that, y'all, there is a place beyond the bottom. The bottom is your bottom line. When we talk about drawing that line, it's the bottom line saying enough, plenty, I've had it. And you've had it with these shenanigans. You've had it with continuing to play things out in a certain way, because that is the definition of insanity, is doing something the same way, expecting a difference. And you're a difference maker. You're like, if I have to tolerate this world, you blessed Geminis, if I have to be here, then I want it to be fulfilling. But often those have been hidden desires. And that's why this dynamic, very active solar Fool is here saying, shake it up to wake it up. They're saying, come on out, Gemini. The world is ready for you. It is waiting for you. And there are physical desires being granted here. It's like awakening the union of your poles, of your mate, the Gemini union. It's like a keyhole. Yeah, and I love it because these cups, they are protected. These 9 of Cups, or for both of y'all. They have been waiting for this time. And I see it. It's honey. It's nectar of the gods. It is pure sunshine. It is pure bliss. And these aren't just promises. This is literally what is contained in here. And it has been kept sacred of sorts. Your heart, no matter how you think you've spent it and it has been hurt, there has been that part that you have saved that is utterly sacred and is waiting for this divine union. I'm shocked that I'm saying these words, but it is what is here. It is what I see, and it is aesthetically pleasing. Not just to the eye, but to all the senses. It's this undoing. I like being undone. You know, it's undoing. It's all resistance melts away. All connotations fall apart. They don't even have to be worked off. Like the moment the sun hits, just like Icarus sizzled out in the presence of the sun because he flew so high, here the sun comes in and just all that flees. It has to go. It has to leave. And the sweet nectar of life abounds here. So it's like mead. Mead is a fermented drink, an alcohol, kind of like beer, that is made from honey. You finer than wine, baby. Okay, come on, step on in here. Step on in here. Look at that. Yes, finer than wine. All right, and the sister card next to it. These do not come separately, but together. This is the Nine of Pentacles. Your procreative power is awakened. I see kind of Thoth and interesting, the sacred ibis is up here. This whole thing is weaving together like a delicious dish. It's not a side dish. This is the whole thing. It is the whole thing. I mean, like, oh, ha! So we have the light bulbs up here too. We have the candelabra. We have the chair. The table is set and ready to go. Dive on in. Dive on into this power, this awakening of your, like, your reproductivity, your power here has a lot to do with your deliciousness, your divineness, your godliness, your goddessness. It's the sheer pleasure of your breath. Your breath of life awakens everything, and not just in and for yourself. It's contagious. Let's send that out around the world. Let's breathe that into our environment. You've got house, you've got hearth, you've got home, you've got gardens, you've got abundance, you've got fruit, you've got some more little nips of yumminess over here. You got something else cooking, baby. And you're open to it. I see that clearly. Look, you're open. Here, she's seeing all that she has, and her heart is satisfied. Because she holds the key. You're seeing all that you have, and you're satisfied. You're satisfied with yourself. And from yourself comes the abundance, these desires and dreams coming out into manifest form because you've chosen to shine like the sun, to be fully activated, to be of your own benefit, to be benevolent, because being good to yourself is being good to the whole wide world. Okay, so we're weaving up here. Next, above, unifying the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles here, because that's what they're telling me. It is progressive. It is going forward into this. So, but it's out and up. Just like a fruit tree, you want to branch out and up, because the more stable and more open it is, it's representative of the roots, and therefore is more procreative in its fruits. And here we have change, the chameleon, 33. You going in a new direction. Look, it's that yellow brick road. It's lighting on up. Your world is springing into color. Look at the creativity here. Ooh, ooh. And you hold the pen. You hold the nib. Look at the eye on that chameleon. Can you see that little side eye? Now I have a little chamois They are so cute with their eyeballs. And they'll give you that look, that knowing look that penetrates into the symbology of the sacred ibis. It penetrates any layers of the mind. It makes the mind holistic from the conscious to the subconscious to the unconscious, and causes them to like heave. I just see it like that, like breathe as one, respire as one. But that nib, it's kind of like nibble, but it's awakening a nebula, a star, a cloud, a formation, a story. Awakening the story. Overriding, not R-I-D, W-R-I-T-I-N-G, overwriting the doubt, overwriting the drought. And there's this cosmic creation bursting forth and is calling in all the energies that support you, not just beings of like ancestors and guides and angels and helpers and things like that, but earth energies, mindsets, thoughts, ideas. It's a profusion of abundance. Wow. Okay. Now, taking you in from the Fool, progressing into this Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles is 23, the Raven. We've got news. Look at that. You speaking from your sacral chakra. Manifest creator. I like that. Pulling up your resources, speaking out of your experience. Here, the creativity of a new story, of coloring it up and bringing it to life. What once brought you death and ending, you now tell in a new light. You share the wisdom. That's what these things are. It's not my advice to you. I have no advice. You have your own advisors. You have your own spirit. You have your own guides. But here, this is information. It's like road signs. It tells you how many miles to get to such and such. It might say rest area over here, or, truck stop up ahead, that type of thing. It's simply information. And that's what all these birds are. All that information flying out of this sacral chakra of the throat. I mean, I know the raven and crow is in these lower realms, okay, in the lower world. But it's waking up. And you have a vast amount of lungs and air and spirit to thrust it forward, to communicate it into the world. Oh, I see her. She said, don't forget me. It's really for all three. Can you see that? Can you see it? Springing forth, coming out of that sacral chakra, life is coming forth. And you're going to tell your story, and you're going to share your wisdom, and you're going to bring it to life full of color, kind of like Dorothy. That always was my favorite movie. And it's because something that was dull and mundane is awakened. A part of the mind that awakens, that can never go back. Never go back. And it's hearkening to the Cinderella. We've passed the midnight hour. We've passed it. The workings, like a clock, they're already moving. The wheel of fortune is already moving here. It is in motion. And now there's a new layer, a new level, a nuance that's coming. The moon is shaking dreams from its hair. Can you look at that? And this I see is clearly the moon working in conjunction with Jupiter. And now that's revelatory. So it's not like I studied and know what that means, but you better believe I'm going to chase that one down and go see what's going on with Jupiter through this stage of the moon coming up until the next eclipse, and also around the time of the solar eclipse. It's the magic of time. It's time. It's time. It's time to let your spirit soar. You're fully developed. Okay, so now we're going to step down here beneath Turn the Tides, Turn the Table, and see what's down below it. And so we have the Four of Cups and the Eight of Wands. I love the Four of Cups in this deck. This is the Grand Lux Tarot by Sierra Machete. And of course, I love that Eight of Wands. Look closely, y'all. Who would not love that creative power? The phallus is a sign of power and reproductivity, like accountable fertility. It's not based on seasons and cycles and the weather like the female fertility would be. This is literally the constantly being restored abundant power. Like the difference between the amount of sperm produced in a man and this ongoing creativity renewed every few days, as opposed to the woman who is born with her eggs and they stay with her all of her life. Well, they leave as she cycles throughout life. But the ones that are there at the end were there from the beginning. This is that replenishment, power of replenishment. Since we're here, we're going to focus on that for a minute. Okay, we have it again. No. Okay, this is the Nine of Rods. Look at this. I love this deck, y'all. Let me see. It's the Antique Anatomy Tarot. I always want to call it vintage, but I'm like, it's a double letter. It's not V. So, antique. Antique Anatomy Tarot. Looking at it through my magic glass table here. So this, it says, wake up and be yourself. Wake up and be yourself. In being yourself, in being abundant, in being solar, in being fully seen, it is your greatest power. And in a sense, like this is saying your greatest weapon. And I was hearing something in my meditation this morning about be a weapon, be an instrument of peace. Because very much, they were trying to get to Oz and they were walking through the poppies and just walking through them, put them at peace and made them fall asleep. So I hear this subdues your enemies. This is ongoing under here, under the earth, which is allowing this to occur here in the 4D realm, right where we are. So being yourself subdues your enemies. It holds them down, puts it to sleep, keeps it down there. There are some critters in the earth that do great things around the roots of the plant, that microbes and things that take care of the earth and keep it healthy and keep it vigorous and vital and in balance. But we want them down there, not up above, because up above it's not even for their benefit nor for ours. So down here, even though it seems like I'm talking about bad type of enemies, in the wrong place it's not good for anybody, but in the right place it's symbiotic and good for both parties here. And it opens your eyes and your crown. I'm feeling it right now. It's like all in the solar chakra. It's like an earthquake of bliss. It's like a wave of wonderfulness. I guess that's what that nectar of the gods, that vintage mead is going on up here in the Nine of Cups, and the connection. It's very, the breath becomes rich and full of life. I can feel it, that every particle of not just oxygen, but the space around it is fully present. Man, that's fantastic. Regeneration power. Regenerating your willpower. Because now you understand. You've cleaned out all the old. So, undergirding the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, y'all, it takes me into these deep channels. So, I thank you for waiting while this tea steeps in the water. Okay, let's sweeten it with some of that honey, right? It's some sun tea. Let's call it that. And if you're not from the south of the United States, come have some sweet tea. So, this is the Knight of Blades. He cracks me up. The first time I saw him, I went through the decks sequentially and sat with each card and had a meal. Not literally, but like figuratively. It was fantastic. And this one I adore. Take a look. He's humorous. It's somebody who has a good sense of humor about things, that even when things seem difficult or they seem to your disadvantage, and that they're highlighting the word here, seem. That's why the flowers are black. They said it may seem that way, that you're seeing the blackness, you're seeing your attention's being overly drawn to what's unseen rather than seeing what's straight up in front of your face, forest for the trees type of thing. But here he's kind of like, yeah, it'll be good, it'll be good, it'll be good. That's what your willpower is saying over here. Hey, go through there, it'll be good, it'll be good. Like trains, how much they rejoiced when they could just cut through the mountain, and it might be dark for a moment, but you come out the other side. It's a shortcut of sorts. but it took creative power and manifest power of cleaning and clearing out that space to be able to do such things, to drive so close to make this pathway that touches your lower world and the middle realm. But I love him. I'll give you one more peek. He's hilarious. Got this knife sticking straight out of his head, 2 teeth all knocked out of the bottom here. And now, mind you, these are not the well, we can call her the artist, the designer, the collaborator of these cards. Is she used vintage medical books, I believe, to draw these images from, and the way those were drawn at the time were from real life, once living people's true skeletons. There we go. Okay, so dead people's remains, and here I love the flowers coming in because it's like life springing in. This whole deck is plutonic. This whole deck is resurrection power. It is the tower. It is the magician, and that's why I chose it, to take us into what we could be, reserved about, or kind of curious but scared at the same time, and take it right on in and make it what it is. Fertilizer makes flowers grow. It makes this mead. It makes this beauty in this life. And here it's just talking about having that good attitude, that resiliency, kind of like chamomile. Chamomile is this herb that's very good for soothing and calming and easing pain and bringing that warm, like sedative type feeling that I was talking about, that keeps you calmly aware. The more you tread on it, the more flowers it produces. It abounds. I love that. Hashtag my joy abounds. That's right. And on the bottom of the deck, let's take a look now. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man. Give you a close look. So here it's let me know that previously you had chosen to opt out several times because you knew how things were going to go. You knew how, if you feel a reach for this, how it's really going to turn out. Those, you didn't have the good healthy microbes down in the soil is what was going on, the things that sustain life even down in the depths and in the dark. So it was an old mindset, an old way. You're feeling stuck. That's clearly what this one's about here today. But what's wild is you're standing there on the ground. Your feet are on the ground. You knew what you were doing. You had no heart. You see, there was no flesh, no heart, no blood, no beating in your heart. But that's what this life force is. It is a new beginning. It is a new start. You've already decided, thank God, you started the center of this with this new unction, with this new drive. So we just, hang on. We just go blast that over there for a minute. Since we already took care of that, now we're going to step in on the other foot. We're going to get on the good foot like James Brown. I love this 4 of Cups in this deck. If you haven't listened to that, listen to it. Talk about this energy. Getting on the good foot. Oh, yeah. And that man turned his life around. Amazing. So this one is, you can see he's kind of in prayer, in thoughtfulness. He is looking up at that cup, bringing it in with his mind, with his dreams, with his heart. Remember, out of here. We got heart now. Yes, we do. We got heart now. How about you? Hey. And over here, past it, we have the Knight of Coins. He's looking towards your future. He's got an eye for your future. Let me see what's going on with here. He's got a strong sense for it. Kind of the world is your oyster. You have some traveling to do, some places to go, some people to see, some things to do. And it's time to live. For some of you, these are continents. For some of you, they're different states. But it is more than just going from one town to the next. It's a little bit more venturing out than that. And you put the ad in front of it, it'll be fantastic and make it an adventure. Beside it, we have the world. Exactly. I know you'd think I'm looking at these, but that's the irony is as I'm taking in each thing, my mind becomes like a flashlight or a spotlight. It's only on what's in front of me and being led, guided, and directed. So I didn't even see this sit next to it. I told you he was looking at your future, but I didn't know he was really like looking at your future, looking at your future. Don't you love the skeleton voices? that they talk like that. But that's what I hear. It is hilarious. Yeah. And I hear in heaven and nature sing. And it is well with you. It is well with your soul. Like your soul, the roots are already moving out. They're already regenerating, just like the blast in this card, this awakening, this fertility of abundance that feeds and nourishes all that you are, all that you have chosen to be in this lifetime that you haven't even yet begun. And it's complete and whole, and it's held together. It's unified here. Okay. So we're going to step into the bottom of the deck of these cards. I'm looking at the box again if you're wondering. It's the Magic of You Oracle. And this is number 15, Maximus. And I'm hearing maximize. Maximize us. This union, this getting out into the world, the Gemini bonding, that communion, that partnering. Your mate. You need to put another chair at the table. But I love it because usually they're candelabras, but here we have fire lit up in a bulb. There were gas lanterns, but there weren't like these gas bulbs going on. Plus it's in a candelabra. Well, it says you're open and ready, and this is about love. You're open and ready to love. You're open and ready to this divine connection. You need to open your mind just a little bit more. Your scope has become so narrowed, which is what I believe you were doing away with here, that self-achievement, self-help, self-direction, that even the purpose became flat and futile. It became two-dimension, like worthless. Worthless. Okay. But here we have the light bulb just like we do at the top. Isn't that funny? Y'all, I don't know how many cards of this I have, maybe 30, 40, 50, and the light bulb came out. Look at that. And it'll draw others to you. It'll draw others to you as you begin to feed yourself, because it'll be obvious. You'll look well. You'll feel well as you begin to let this life force, this solar, this illumination, really, I mean, how could you not see that in somebody, right? And this has been awakened as well. You're filled with life. You are teeming with life. And with that resilient attitude that we see over here and travel in the world and moving about, it's like you're scattering your seed abroad, this fertility of joyousness that you have. And let's see. These kind of go together is what I'm getting here. So I'm going to pick them both up. It's number 23, Panacea. And it says there is a solution for every problem. And number 36, the Witch. The magic you seek is inside of you. Let it flow. So the magic I'm picking up here is the key. Can you see the back? The key. Give yourself permission to be awesome, to be amazing, to be abundant. Give permission for your deep, dark self to be seen. Look at these two, okay? Because just like what you put in the compost pile, it might be rancid and rank for a moment, but with a little bit of time, a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun, and a little bit of turning, it becomes this fertile soil. It becomes this resiliency. And clearly that has already happened because we've awakened this part first, and now you're here. So this is like, this was very much like your body and then coming along to your soul, and now we're dealing with your mind. Panacea, we can see here the feet are bound, you know, just kind of getting tangled up a little bit, but you are walking above the earth. Things that aren't at your level anymore, just pull them and peel them off. Don't even converse. Don't even give your eyesight, your attention to whatever, because it would just distract and take back to this. But you already know that, don't you? Don't you? And if you're not sure, back it up and watch the video from the beginning again. Yeah. But over here, oh, sorry, he's over to the side. That hangman's feet were just tiptoeing on the ground. Just there, tippy-toeing. Lift up and out of this. You have permission. You are your authority now. You have permission to be divine, be beautiful, be radiant, be blissful, be joyous, be happy, be resilient, be this guy. Y'all, let's be this guy. That is fantastic. I cannot get over that card. It makes me happy. You can tell I have a lot of Pluto in my chart, and it has been the dark side of Pluto, and now I've entered the golden side of Pluto. I've made it all the way through in that alchemy, and it's fantastic. And of course, that's why I'm like the raven here. I'm no longer cawing, y'all. I am laughing, and I'm laughing a hearty laugh, a laugh that feeds my belly. It fills my soul. You know, it warms me up. It's all this magnificent energy going on. It provides this nectar of the gods, for real. And that's why I believe life it pushed me out. It nudged me out. It said, get out of your chrysalis. Get out of here. Go and share with the world. That's why it's called Joy to the World, because it's not me, Joy, this person. It is what is flowing through me to what? My love rock, to all of us. I love us. I genuinely do. And this is a burning unction that has been inside of me since the day I landed on this planet. That's why I talk about Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I mean, the first time I saw that, black and white movies were still pretty common being played on TV, at least on certain channels. And it was on one of those channels. And I'm at home watching it. And they go to a commercial break, and it was black and white. When it comes back within a moment, it was erupting in color like this. And it didn't even matter what was going on before, the blasé, the boring, the mundane, any of that. It created a force, a reaction inside of me, just like this. Remember I said I love to come undone? That undid me right there. Once I knew it and saw what was possible, once I realized that there was something beyond what I had been seeing, I was woke, y'all. I was woke, and not, as we found out here, it's not woke to work. It's not woke to make the mind and to try and, do this junk anymore. Not at all. No more dodging that crazy, crafty bullet, those attacks. It is literally being that instrument of peace. Being that one who has that magic resiliency. So, I think more could be said here, but I don't want to leave y'all with that blast, that kinetic energy. Can you not feel the amnios, like the static electricity in the air all around you? All around you, and that's so much like this. And this was like, yeah, George. Yeah, George. Yeah, Mabel. Let's go do it. Let's go take the world. Let's go. We're taking the world. We're taking the world by storm with some joy, my joy, your joy, our joy. We're waking it up. And we're waking up here. We're waking up our desire and our deliciousness and our satisfaction to maximize us. To eat and be satisfied. And I'm telling you, when we're living it, y'all, and we're finding each other and we're coming together in that mate and in that pairing and in the community and friendships and things like that, it's going to draw just like you see them being drawn to the flame, to the fire. To the fire. Hey, Gemini, I love y'all. I love myself. I love this reading that you guys brought to me, have shared with me, and I feel like we have learned so much through this opportunity. And thanks for sharing your voice and your passion for life, intimacy, connection, all those things, and being able to override the low-ended thinking and to rise up above it all. I'm going to go out and enjoy life. Taste and see that this world is delicious. Taste the nectar of the gods. Come on. So, joy for Joy to the World, saying I love y'all. Bye for now.